Good day everyone, I'm Erky Jane M. Ramos from Biped 2D. So in this video, I will share my overview about the history, facilities, and equipments of the game football. So let's start. So football has a long story. Walter Camp, regarded as the father of American football, was the man most responsible for the shift from this rugby-like game to the sport that we know today. From 1876 until 1881, he was a Yale undergraduate and medical student who played halfback and served as a team captain, which was akin to head at the coach at the time. The football contest takes shape. The most widely accepted legend has it that the game was invented in England in the 12th century. Football-like sports were played in English fields and roadways throughout the 20th century. Aside from kicks, the game also included fist blows to the ball. The first known examples of a team game with a rock-made ball happened approximately 3,000 years ago in the ancient Mesoamerican societies. The first documented ball game involving kick occurred in China in the 3rd and 2nd centuries BC under the name Suju. Suju was played on a square space with a round ball or stitched leather with a fur of feathers inside. Marn Gook played Aboriginal Australians and described as a ball game mostly involving kicking by European immigrants in the 1800s, was perhaps an even earlier Suju. Encased leaves or roots formed the ball. Other types of balls filled with air are from the 17th century. So that's my overview about the history of football. So now let's move on to the football equipments. So out of all the professional sports, football has the most elaborate uniform essentials. The reason for this is simple. Football is a rough and admittedly dangerous sport, and players could easily get injured without all the complex protective gear. Here are the equipments needed when playing football. So the first one is the helmet. The most crucial piece of football equipment is the helmet, which protects the player's head during games and practices. Helmets are intended to protect the player's head from the contact of flying balls as well as blunt force from the ground and other players. Next is the mouth guard. Mouth guard to protect the mouth and teeth during the game. A mouth guard is essential for the field. The fourth equipment is the thigh, hip, and knee pads. It is used to ensure the knees and elbows aren't subject to undue force that could break the bones or strain the cartilage. Pads along these joints are among the more essential football accessories. The fifth equipment is the shoulder pads. With shoulder pads to protect this crucial area of the body, a player is less likely to miss game due to torn ligaments or muscle strain in this area. Sixth equipment is the gloves. Gloves are required. Football is one of the most hands-on games in the world. Therefore, it's critical that players don't injure their hands. Certain athletes, like receivers and linemen, are more prone to hand injuries and others. Linemen typically wear gloves to protect themselves from bruising and scratching, but skilled players frequently wear gloves to assist catch and hold onto the ball. Next equipment is the playing football is the cleats. Football requires as much traction as possible, the likes of which cannot be gained with ordinary footwear. In addition to providing ankle protection, football cleats have specially grooved soles for utmost traction on the playing field. So now let us move on to the football facilities. So the first facility is the football or the soccer field. So here are the dimensions of the football field. So the goal. The adult soccer goal is 24 feet wide by 8 feet high. And the overall field dimensions is 100 yards long and 60 yards wide. And the midfield line. The middle of the field is divided lengthwise by a midfield line. In the center of the field, there is a 10-yard circle which defenders must stay out of a start of play. Penalty area, or also called the penalty box, a rectangular box 44 yards wide by 18 yards deep, is centered on the goal. Fouls committed in this area may result in a penalty kick. Next is the penalty mark. The penalty mark is 12 yards from the end line, inside the penalty area where penalty kicks are played. And next is the goal area. The goal area is a box of 20 yards wide by 6 yards deep inside the penalty area. It is also centered on the goal. This box marks the area from which a goal kick must be placed. And the last dimension is the corner kick circle. A 1-yard quarter circle is marked on each corner of the field, indicating when a player must place the ball prior to a corner kick. And the next facility is the ball. As the name football suggests, you'll need a ball. Soccer balls come in many different sizes, materials, styles, and league specifications vary depending on the age and level of the players. Next is the goal post. In soccer, are scored by kicking the ball through a rectangular shape appropriately called the goal. Though the rectangle is standard, goals can be made by placing any two objects a few steps apart. So the last facility is the kit or the jersey. So as with any sport, jersey is very important to every players because jersey helps to identify the players. So that's all. Thank you for watching.